Alright, so this week I have a 2-piece furniture commission, might be 3, waiting to see if we're going to make this other credenza that they want. So I'm going to get some Baltic birch plywood and some poplar, and yeah, going to get started on that. So I am here at Ganal Lumber in Pasadena. There's someone coming, so I'm just going to move. But yeah, getting all this lumber because this is where I get my domestics from, here and Bonhoff. This is actually the same client and same commission as the blue geodenza from last video, but maybe a month or 2 earlier. And this one, we're focusing on the coffee table of that commission, and it's kind of interesting. Really different design. It's a cake-shaped coffee table. I made it out of poplar and not plywood because I realized that I need to route the edges and round them over and do a lot of bandsaw work. So I figured doing it with hardwood would be easier, and if I did it out of poplar, a wood that's a little softer but still hardwood, would be easier to shape, especially for that edge profiling and just getting to the bandsaw to get all those curves that I want to get. And full disclosure, this build video isn't really complete up to painting because with deadlines and some family things going on, I wasn't able to record everything, but you get the bulk of it. You get the cool vertical cuts going to the bandsaw and the general gist of everything. So if you want to try it yourself, not too hard. So next thing I gotta do is get these panels together for the sides, put dominoes on the ends of these, get them all lined up. Sneeze. Because it's going to be painted, I don't have to be too particular about grain pattern or anything, and join them, let the glue dry, and then keep on going. So this is also before I knew that I was going to be painting it. This is before I got my HVLP, before I made my lumber cart, and before a lot of things. And it's actually kind of surprising because this was only a month or 2 ago, and even since then I feel like I've learned a lot. And it's nice to look back and see how much you learn in such a short amount of time. So now I got all the dominoes in, tight, wide, everything. I'm gonna do 2 panels at a time and then join them together because I've tried doing 4 panels with this many dominoes, just keep everything coplanar, and it gets a little tough. But I've realized that something that's always really hard is getting, after dry fitting it, is getting all these out. So I wanted to record it so that way if someone knows a better way, oh God, to do this when you're dry fitting, then I'd love to know, because that is not always the easiest thing to do. 2 months later, still don't know how to do it. So if you have any tips, please share them. I don't want to dent boards whenever I'm pulling apart dry fitted dominoes. So as I glue these panels together, it's interesting to see how I do things and how the shop is organized and how messy everything's and how things just change in such a short amount of time. And I forgot that's why I wanted to make these videos in the first place, is just record my journey in woodworking, because I'm not trying to show anybody how to do anything. I'm just showing people things that I've learned on YouTube, on Reddit, in the woodworking forums, as I make pieces and apply the skills that I learn. And it also serves as a time capsule for myself, to be able to remember what was going on in my life at the time. Even if I'm not sharing it, it just gives me memories. And that's kind of the power of filmmaking for me, is being able to tell a story and push a message, even if only affects one person, which in this case might be me. Another chunk of time later, I have got to do some more sketchy cuts, and then I'll be done for the day. This thing is really scary, but that's how you get like acute and big obtuse angles. Everything cut. Did that really tall jig for the pointed end over here, and then just did 72.5 degrees roughly for the other end, because it's just gonna go flat side. I'm not doing miters here. I use the offcuts from the mitered side. Okay, there we go. Offcuts from the miter side to use as clamping cauls, so I could cinch this point together. And yeah, this glue up doesn't seem extremely difficult. It's the next day, and I have a triangle made. So I'm going to flush up everything here just with the hand plane, and then I'm going to take the plane and flatten this out a little bit so I can start getting a round over on it. And then I'm going to use this as a template for a tabletop. So I'm also going to glue up a tabletop so I can use a flush trim router bit to just get everything about the same dimensions so I can start making the fall off of the icing of the cake. So this part right here, I was making the tabletop and I was gonna do it in a way that I don't think I want to do it, so we're gonna ignore what I'm doing here and just watch the rest of the video, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get some more poplar and make the tabletop in a more traditional way where the skirt is under and not on the sides, just because I think it'll look better, it'll feel better, it'll paint better. So I'm gonna redo that, and then we're gonna go watch the rest of then when I make the actual tabletop, you'll see it. So I'm just gonna cut this part out. So even how I was recording the videos is a little different than how I think I want to record them now. And I might go back to the style if I have the time to, but this feels a little easier. So I think for this, and also so I can get this video out because I've been holding on to it for so long, I think I'm gonna do it this way and just keep making videos, because I think I got into a little bit of a trap of not wanting to release anything unless it was perfect, but also just remembering that nothing is perfect and everything changes. And I think that's a really important thing, especially in woodworking, because when you have to fix your mistakes, it's not exactly what you thought before, and that's something that I'm taking from woodworking into life. So it's really interesting what this whole thing is teaching me. Alright, I think that was a good chunk of time without talking. So what I did so far was put the edge profiles on the corners over here, sand it off the point so it's not so pointy, put edge profiles on the bottom so that way when it's being dragged around and stuff, nothing catches and I don't get any chip out when they're moving things. And next I'm going to finish gluing up the top panel for this, but the skirt will drape down a little more down here. Then I'm going to put dominoes so I know where they are. And then I'm gonna cut out the shapes of the dripping icing on that. So it's gonna be a two-piece thing, be a tabletop and the base. So the base is pretty much done. Just gotta do sanding. Probably gonna give this like 400 grit because we're gonna paint it. I'm not doing the painting, so that's good because I'm still learning how to do painting. I got a sprayer, but I still have some things to learn about that. But I think this will teach me a lot, so I'm kind of excited for that. But I did end up painting it, and I did end up getting 2 HVLPs, one of those buy nice or buy twice situations. But that's just part of the learning experience. I know now that there are some things that I should just get right away, but I wouldn't really know unless I made a mistake. So it's a mistake, but you learn from them and you grow from them. And now I drew out the shapes of the icing, cutting them out and refining them, used the jigsaw, bandsaw, and now the oscillating belt sander, and just smoothing everything out, trying to get in a nice place. And this was really kind of one of the first times that I was making a fabrication that wasn't just a piece of furniture that was its own design. It was supposed to look like something else. That was really cool. I actually really liked making these curves and thinking about how to attach these, because you'll see in a little bit I attached them with dominoes. And combining different skills and tools that you use in different projects to solve a problem with a current project, even if it's something you've never done before, is half the fun of woodworking. It's all problem solving, figuring out how to do things, and it's also really cool that there's always more than one way to do things. Some things might be better for others, some things might just be comfortable for some people and not others. It's just so nice that it's so flexible. I like that there's so many opportunities, and I love that this tabletop just slipped on nice and tight. And I'm so sorry that these are the final clips of this piece. Again, there was just a lot of life stuff and deadlines, so couldn't really get it finished, but here's Carlos, my interior designer, painting the last bits of Patrick and SpongeBob over here. He did the first couple coats, and then I did the next, and here it is. In the office, I'll finish with the trim and a high gloss finish. Really happy it's done, and really happy to have learned so much about it. I wish I had some more pictures to show because it is a really cool piece, but might make something similar in the future. Who knows? But until next time.
Thanks for watching, and see you soon.